the recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommend a zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from
Holman,
his
with all
family.
due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
That AOC is a jackass.
A liberal Jewish college student finally wakes up to the fact that BLM hates her.
They want our people dead.
No shit. Are you just now figuring this out? Of course they do, jackass.
Please, I didn't believe.
Yeah.
How did you think this would end? These people don't want the continuation of the state of Israel. What did you think was going to happen? Look around, find out.
Okay, that's some... Yeah, she's Jewish, and she found out that people hate Jews. No shit, Sherlock.
Of the evils of American militarism, the reality is that World War III has been prevented by American hegemony.
I don't know
country
about
would
that.
take on the United States directly, and no alliance could form sufficient to take on the United States and its allies directly. Furthermore, global prosperity is a direct result of American military predominance.
Okay, Ben, you're being very naive. I hate to say that. I mean, I like Ben Shapiro, but not always.
Freedom of commerce is the first precondition to international prosperity, all of which means the world runs thanks to American gunpowder.
Yeah, you know, what you're saying is great. I like what you're saying, but you're naive, okay? Not always, but on this one you are.
It has since the decline of the British Empire. And now, America's military is in trouble. Serious trouble. In particular, there are 5 problems facing America's military. One, international dependency.
No, we want to be in other countries, okay? That's on purpose. Now, the thing is about Ben Shapiro, what he ought to think about is, how do the Army generals in America feel about Jews? Well, I can tell you how they feel about Jews. They hate them, okay? General Patton was anti-Semitic, and that anti-Semitism did not stop with him. How do I know? I was in the Army, and I've worked for some of these jackasses, okay? There are a lot of Jew haters in the military, and I'm speaking about the Army, basically. When I first went in the Army, I was amazed at how prevalent, how predominant a lot of Jew haters were in the Army. And that did not go down as I went through the years in the Army. So before we start, you know, putting all our eggs in one basket and giving them to the generals, you got to think about how do they feel about Jews. And I can tell you it's not favorable.
Exactly what you would expect. She sides with the terrorists. But maybe she sides with the terrorists because AOC is herself using chemical weapons in this video. Actual use of biological weapons by AOC in this video. Watch.
Victims who do not want their tragedy used
She
to justify
farted.
Let's go to the thermal radiation
You filthy bitch, that farting AOC.
camera.
in the names of victims who do not want their tragedy used to
You
justify
farting bitch.
That's confirmation for me enough. This is why AOC sides with the terrorists. She is in favor of use of biological weapons. Terrifying time. Terrifying. And how does she remain a member of Congress? I don't know. Not the first time a Democrat has done this on TV, by the way.
Taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help them cheat an election.
Damn.
And the complaint
What's with these Jew-hating Democrats? Always farting.
We're asking if you could, not film or record.
My name.
Why would you ask someone?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what you're doing, and I don't really want to be filmed. And there's a couple of the other employees that don't want to either.
Well, I don't like snakes. So, I don't go bother people holding snakes. If you don't want to be on camera, I wouldn't walk up to a camera.
I mean, do you know how stupid you sound? You're the person who walked up on their business, recording whoever's inside. I mean, that goes to show what kind of person you are already.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16. I feel like going into all these elevators with a Sharpie, crossing out the floor, putting it, and say, that's the 13th floor. You're not fooling anybody. This is 21st century America, and we have people afraid of the number 13. And what happens when you get to lobby and then you go to floors below the lobby? What do they call them? B for basement, SB, sub SBB. Can I buy a vowel, please? Like, what are you doing there? We have perfectly good nomenclature for going below the lobby level. They're called negative numbers, okay? Wait a minute, we're actually still using steam? What? Okay. I'm not going far back in time to get these stories. Bridge collapses. I-35, Minnesota. A bridge collapsed? You go through Europe, there's still bridges standing from the Roman Empire. We can't put a bridge over that, all right? That's not a river, this is a brook. On out. A train comes this way, you don't send another train the opposite direction on the same track. That would be like commandment number 1. All right, Railroads 101. If you don't have scientists and engineers in your midst, when a hurricane comes or some kind of a natural disaster, your first thought is stockpile food and run. But if you're an engineer or a scientist and the disaster's coming, you say, how can I avert that disaster? I foresee a day where a hurricane forms in the Gulf. You put in some kind of apparatus that taps the energy of that hurricane, and that energy drives the electricity of the city that would otherwise be destroyed by the hurricane had it continued to go through. That's the kind of thinking that needs to go on in this world.
I told him I was working on a story when he came out.
And you're lying.
This is what these guys, they're First Amendment auditors. This is what they do. They try to rile you guys up. They try to rile us up. Don't give them anything. Just wave and go on. If you don't like it, if you don't want to be on this video.
That's not a good way to explain it, Deputy.
I don't care.
You should.
I don't care.
You should tell them it's an American right. It's part of the Constitution, the First Amendment of the Constitution. No, you're talking about I don't care and all this garbage. That's a garbage attitude. Obviously, Nancy, you don't respect.
Okay, that deputy's getting dicked with by this frauditor. And he's sucking on it. Why are you sucking on it? Well, here's the thing. We got legislation in progress right now in a lot of states on how to protect police from frauditors. The argument is the verbiage. How do you protect First Amendment rights? And how do you protect the police from the frauditors? What verbiage do you use? And how can it be understood? And how can it have some teeth in it? Well, that's really a big debate, and they can't seem to do it. And it is a challenge when you go into it. It's not as easy as it sounds. Now, there is one thing that is very easy that will help out, except it's not what we want, and that is make it illegal to film the police entirely. Just pass a law that says, can't film the police, boom, into story. It's not what we want, but that's where we're going to go, okay? And it's because of these frauditors.
Respect people's freedoms. You don't respect Americans' freedoms, do you? You want to put it that way?
We're going to lose those freedoms or those privileges because of the frauditors.
That's a bunch of garbage.
He's on public property, so if he wants to film, you guys own this? Yeah. Okay, if he wants to film this, and this is how he wants to spend his time, this is his free time.
There will be a day when we won't be able to film police or deputies.
Y'all doing the most, boy. Spike strips. Why do you need spike strips?
Because you're under arrest.
I'm under arrest.
Yep, for failure to identify yourself.
Failure to identify.
Yep.
Look at what they're doing. Let's go to jail then.
Okay.
Come on, let's go to jail. Trust me, I'm the right pick.
Out of the car.
Hold on, look, I'm coming out of the car.
Put your phone and your keys on the dash.
Okay, you can't arrest for failure to ID. Matter of fact, if you look at the statutes, there's a lot of them.
No red light. There was no red light.
Your driver's license.
May you call a sergeant?
I will.
Now, please.
License. That is not the way it works.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Get out of the vehicle.
My ID's right here. I'm not refusing to give it to you. I asked for your sergeant.
Show me your identity.
I asked for your sergeant.
The officer caved and called his sergeant.
I need to see your driver's license.
I don't need to give it to you.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
No.
How am I supposed to identify you?
Look at
Bring
it.
you here so that I can take a photo.
Gentlemen's Club presents Latin Wednesdays and Bar.
Our job is not to determine guilt or innocence.
No, I'm trying to figure out why he pulled me over. Then he threatened to pull me out of the car if I didn't identify myself. When I asked him, call your sergeant out here first, and then I'll give you my information. He told me I was refusing to give my ID, and I said clearly.
These cops are pussies, okay? And pussies are not good cops, not good for any of us. And one thing I noticed about pussy cops is they're also very corrupt and dishonest, okay? So being a pussy is bad on many levels.
No, I'm not refusing to give my ID. I want the
you
sergeant
are.
out here first.
You've already
because what you
refused.
did was illegal.
The inmates are now controlling the asylum.
Exactly, because I don't legally have to put it in your hand. Know your own law, stupid. Jesus. He did the way he kept getting behind me, and shit. So what was the purpose of the stop?
I'm sure he explained it to you.
No, he said that I pulled off on a red light, which clearly I
If
didn't.
that's what he told you, then that's why he stopped you.
But I didn't do that.
But he's saying you did. Again, you can argue with the judge.
Well, the auditor got the ticket, and he probably paid it. You know, I live next to Tempe, Arizona, and the cops I knew back then would not endure this auditor's performance.
Have a good afternoon. Stay healthy.
Hello, can I have one stamp, please? Did you think it was illegal to film here?
I don't want to be on your camera.
Well, then you have to get a job in the private sector, man.
Why don't you
You're
get
in
a
public.
job,
I'm
asshole?
not going to wait on you. You can go. I'm not
No, I need a stamp.
right there.
Oh, no.
We refuse to.
No, who put that sign up? You better get Scott back out here and have him sell me a stamp. You're not going to refuse to help me.
Yeah, I don't know why you got to come in here and cause trouble.
I just spoke to your supervisor about a very serious issue going on here at the post office, and he agrees with me.
I don't want you on. I don't want to be on your camera.
Well, it's a good thing you're not president, and I need to buy a stamp from you.
You are though, right?
No, I'm just looking to buy a stamp, ma'am. And you're giving people bad information, not me. And you're
Not me.
ripping the money out of my hand now? You gonna throw it at me? What is your name?
You don't have to report everything. She's doing a good job. Thank her for that.
No, she's not doing a good job.
Yes, she is.
No, not at all.
Yes, she is.
No, well, you can support that in any way you want.
And I will.
I'll mind my own business, thank you.
All right, no, you don't, because you're videoing
Sure.
everything. But
So
that's
what-
okay. Have a nice
Of course it's okay. You have a nice day,
Have
too.
a nice day. That's an insult these days.
What does
We
she
used-
do? Go underneath the desk?
We used to tell people to go to hell or to F their mothers. In my day, have a nice day. That's a weak insult. You got to do better. I mean, damn.
Where'd she seriously just go?
Nice.
Scott.
The cameras have got to go. I'm sorry.
No, that's not actually true.
That is true.
That's fine.
That's not. Have you ever read your poster 7 that's hanging on the wall?
Yeah.
And we also see right here.
That's an illegal sign. Listen, you don't know what we're doing here. So
I
had a
didn't
very
see a
cordial
sign.
conversation. Let's just stay that way, Scott. I appreciate you. I told you I think you're doing a very good job. I appreciate you being on top.
Okay, with the frauditors, I didn't see a sign, and then when you show them a sign, oh, that's not a legitimate sign. Bullshit. You guys are going to have to figure out how to deal with these frauditors. And calling the police is not the answer.
Type of things here, but one person's feelings does not change the structure of the way the United States government functions.
People, you need to leave the facility, please.
I'm not going to leave the facility. You're out of your mind.
You going to call Federal Protection Services so they can educate you today? Why don't we get Homeland Security down here and they'll tell you what the deal is? And Scott was doing so well, you know? It's a shame. And she's, what is this sign? We refuse the right to, we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone? For asking a question? Where's poster 7?
It was right where we're standing.
Is that one right behind you too?
Yeah.
All right, guys, so everybody knows poster 7, but for those of you who don't know, this is poster 7, which is the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property. There is a paragraph here which is titled Photographs for News, Advertising, or Commercial Purposes, which outline the fact that we are allowed to be here taking pictures. It says photographs for news purposes may be taken in entrance.
Okay, let's look at the word may. Okay? Photographs for news, advertising, or commercial purposes. Photographs for news purposes may be taken in. They may be, don't have to be. Oh, by the way, what's a press pass? There's no such thing as a press pass. Oh, no such thing. Bullshit. And you guys who lick Jason Gutter Trash's butthole, you're wrong as wrong can be. Okay? So he reads poster 7, but he's not reading it correctly, okay?
Lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums when used for public meetings. Now, I want people, there's a lot of confusion with this. That's why it says or auditoriums when used for public meetings. So it doesn't mean that the lobby and the entrances and the foyers have to be being used for public meetings.
It's exactly what it means, okay? Yeah, they can be taken in these places, lobbies, auditoriums, when used for public meetings, which means the entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors cannot be used for filming when they're not being used for public meetings. And notice the word may. And by the way, if poster 7 doesn't do it for you, postal regulations will. They go into a lot more detail and depth, which Jason Gutter Trash does not do. That jackass.
It means if they have an auditorium, which most post offices do not, there can only be photographs taken in that auditorium.
That is a fucking lie.
When there's a public meeting taking place. Let's see. So, except where prohibited by official signs, which there are none, security force personnel, which there are none here, or authorized personnel, which there is nobody here that's authorized to change the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property. That would.
Notice how he did that Jedi mind trick? No one's authorized to change the rules. Doesn't say anything about that. It says authorized personnel. Okay. So if it's prohibited by authorized personnel, and in this case, authorized personnel are postal workers. Okay? And postal regulations will back this up in greater detail. Okay? But anyway, he pulls that Jedi mind trick. Says, okay, no one's here authorized to change the rules. Okay, you guys who are falling for Jason Gutter Trash, you're stupid and you're a blight on this country. And you're making this country a worse place, and you're screwing up the economy.
Come from somebody way higher up than Scott. Or a federal court order, which there is none, or rule. Other photographs may be taken only with the permission of the local postmasters. That means if you're not taking pictures for news, advertising, or commercial purpose.
That is a damn lie. It says other photographs. Doesn't specify what kind of other photographs. It's in general. And again, I've looked at postal regulations which go into greater detail. Jason Gutter Trash is a compulsive liar. And why people suck on his dick, I have no idea.